Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. All right. If you'd like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool, it's not the final rule. It's a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. Hope you all are doing wonderful, vibing high, and feeling great. All right, and got you something delicious on your plate. Okay, I just wanted to say that because it rhymes. Okay. On this channel, we create sparks, okay? There are nothing but pure intentions, nothing less or more going on. Hopefully you take these messages and utilize them for your highest good, okay? My only intentions is to create a spark within you and so that you'll be motivated and inspired to be enlightened and pivot in a direction that is best for you and your highest good in your own timing, not in my timing, but in your own timing. May you find every message, every motivational speech, every poem that I share is well on my channel or anything else that I upload for your highest good, okay? Collective, we're starting off with the Ace of Swords. It says new ideas, new plans, victories, success, and mental clarity. So at this time, you could be in the energy of receiving a lot of clarity, clarity on your life, okay? On your life, what direction you would like to go in moving further. Maybe you've been in reflection of wanting to make changes, okay? I'm also picking up on someone who wants to change something involving a relationship. Maybe you're considering possibly leaving your partner. You could be married, you could be engaged, or you could just be dating someone. So maybe you are considering leaving your partner. Maybe you feel that you have outgrown each other. And it's not that this person is a bad person. You just feel that the two of you have outgrown, the conditions, okay? The conditions of the relationship, okay? So maybe this was a relationship that was established, under particular conditions, okay? Maybe you met this person at a time in your life where, maybe you were living out of your shadow side, or you were experiencing a moment in your life that was of dis-ease, not of pleasure, maybe some kind of hardship. And maybe you just happened to cross each other's path and you linked up with this person. One thing led to another and it turned into a relationship. And so as time has progressed forward, you have decided that you have outgrown this person. It doesn't mean, once again, that they are a bad person. You're just ready to do something different, and you're ready to experience something different. And so you could be pondering back and forth in your mind, male or female, how you're going to let this person know that you're no longer interested in being in a relationship. And it could be very difficult for you because possibly this person could have a situation where maybe one of you in the household, okay, one of you in the household makes more money than the other. So you could be having some kind of guilt or, feeling some kind of way about letting them down. You want to let them down easy. You don't want to inflict any pain, but you're very unhappy and unsatisfied. And truly, with the whole thought of you desiring to disconnect from this relationship, you're just not happy. But in your process of doing so, you're being very mindful of how you do it. But Spirit is saying, the sooner the better. Do not string along this connection, this relationship. If you are desiring someone else, or you're desiring to be single, it is okay. It's not a bad thing or a negative thing. As I always, I let the collective know, as we move forward, our desires in life will change. Doesn't matter who you are or where you are from or your upbringing or your tax bracket. Things will change, especially when it comes to marriage. You will outgrow each other. Your desires will change. There will be things that you no longer are interested in, okay? It does not mean that your spouse or your partner is a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're just not qualified to be marriage material. It just means that the natural process of evolution is happening in your life, where things are constantly changing inside of us as well as outside of us. And so it's only natural for your appetite or your idea of what comfort looks like will change. Your idea of what happiness looks like like will change. Your idea of what peace or success or abundance look like as well, all these things will change, okay? And so, because we are taught and projected so many lies, throughout our upbringing of how things should be, and, we should do this way and that way, everything is not going to be done just one way. We all are uniquely, individually, divinely created, and we all have our own timing of how we process and take particular steps in our own life path. And so Spirit is saying, do not linger on this situation. Do not become so stuck on, I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's better to let them know immediately that you do want to separate, and have an exit plan. Do not have this conversation and let it turn into a fueled argument. I'm picking up. Have this conversation, but also have an exit plan to where you're letting them know this needs to happen. And maybe 24 hours or sooner after that, you're either relocating, because I'm picking up that this is a situation where you're living with your partner. You live together. If you're not married, you're live-in partners, okay? You live with your spouse. But Spirit is saying, have an exit plan, have a plan of not just saying that you want it to be over, but actually having somewhere for either whether you're going to let them stay there or you're going to stay there, but having a plan, an exit plan. I'm picking up that it's going to be you. Especially if you are the one that makes the most money, and maybe you're feeling guilty about letting them down because you're probably concerned about how they're going to take care of themselves. That is no longer your responsibility. But I see someone letting their spouse have the house or the apartment. Meaning, if they're renting an apartment or a house or a housing situation, you letting them, stay there and choosing to pick up and get your things and go somewhere else, but have a plan to relocate and to exit the premises immediately. Do not let this drag out. Spirit is saying it will not do you any good or them to let this linger on for several more months or several more years. And, why punish yourself? Why put yourself through that kind of turmoil? And also, why self-inflict stagnation onto yourself? Okay, let go and let it flow. It is what it is. The next card we have here is the King of Wands, okay? And we have, yes, energetic, experienced, optimistic, confident, and strong. And so this is the energy that you are desiring to return to, but this can only be established once you clear out the old energy here. This is who you are, collective. This is your natural state of being, sitting on your throne, someone who is respected as a leader. If not in your community, it could be on your job, in a family circle, or in a friend group. But either way, you are respected as a leader. People look at you as someone who's in authority of their life. You know what you want. You're not a confused person. You're very ambitious. You're very driven. But it's just when it comes to your love life, you're no longer happy or satisfied. You or this person could have either Pisces or a Librian Aquarius placements in your chart somewhere, sun, moon, or rising, or any placement in your birth chart. But you are desiring to return to your original state. I'm feeling that when you first met this person, you were on your throne. You were very confident as well. I'm also picking up you were able, something about saving more money. Your finances were there was more order when it came to your finances. You were more, financially established. And so as time moved on, you're feeling like you're not able to accomplish your goals when it comes to saving, maybe things you desire to do, things you want to be a part of. Because when you are in a relationship, we all know you have to consider your partner at all times, It's just like when you have someone in your household with you, you have to consider the people in the household when you make decisions, even if it's just a roommate situation. When it's not just you, you do have to consider the people around you when you're cooking dinner, whether you're having company, how you're dressed. You have to make sure you're dressed a certain way. You have to make sure you're appropriate. There's a lot of things you have to take into accountability when you agree to share your life as well as your household and your expenses and your time and your heart with someone else. And so you're feeling like you have been depleted over time. You're feeling like it has not been an experience of great accomplishments. Okay. All right. That's the message. The next card we have here is the Hanged Man. Okay. It says, Feeling trapped, limited, self-limited. So you have been feeling trapped, and this represents you going into reflection mode, wanting to do more, be more, see more, knowing that there is more than what meets the two eyes, and you're ready to do something different. And you're coming to the realization that the best thing you could do is just be honest. And you're right, and not linger and carry this situation ahead. There are people who will stay in situationships and relationships just for survival, just because they are comfortable or accustomed to being with a person, just because it's more frugal, it's more convenient. There are many reasons why people stay in relationships, whether it's marriage, just dating, whatever it is, there are some who are in relationships for love, but there aren't many. It's just the truth. People have many reasons why they stay in connections or why they choose to latch on or linger on, even when, I'm about to say the thirst is gone. Even when, the passion is gone, the love is gone, when you go from feeling like you're in a relationship until you're feeling like you're just roommates, sleeping in separate rooms, not coming home at night, that kind of thing, not speaking to each other, snapping and griping at each other. No one wants to live in a household where this kind of energy is taking place. Or, I don't have my phone around me, but I'm going to say it collective, or be in a relationship where every time your partner's phone rings, they walk away from you just to talk on it, or the phone stays face down, for oh, yes, collective. I had to get it where the phone stays face down. Every time the phone rings, your partner can never, ever, speak to you, speak on their phone in front of you. It's a secret. Or if it's around you, it's turned down. And if it's turned up, the power's off. And it's not about anyone being nosy. It's not about what you're hiding. It's about really being honest and standing in your authenticity. And, very few are willing to be real. It's a lot of faking and pump faking and capping out here. A lot of pretending going on. And there's a lot, people just telling themselves a bunch of lies. If you don't recognize something is wrong, that a person can never, ever answer their phone in front of you, it should be no problem. It really should. And I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything nefarious, but it's just common sense. If I'm around my partner and my phone is always like this, turned over, or if it's turned up and I have my power off and it never signals, like never ever, or it rings and I get up and I walk out of the house, or I walk out of the room, wherever we at, the restaurant, I'm pretty sure, that my spouse would be like, what's up? But I have known, and some people honestly who don't do that, who honestly will pick up the phone, answer the call, and will talk in front of their spouse. It's no big thing. It is what it is. These are people who are in relationships, and they're honest about their relationship. There's nothing to hide. And it's not about anyone being nosy, because if it's your partner, there's nothing to be nosy about. It is what it is. I just had to go there. Yes, I did. How many times you call yourself in a relationship that you can witness that and really tell yourself this is a healthy connection? Don't worry, I'll wait. The next card we have here is the Queen of Wands. We have Leo energy here: energetic, lively, strong, brave, enthusiastic. And so, as I said, you're waiting to get back to you. You're waiting to get back to the bliss and the fun of life, okay? Maybe you're also feeling like things have been dull. As I was just speaking, this could be a connection where you don't speak to each other as much. You don't go out as you used to. There's not romance in this connection, as it used to be. The fire has has fizzled out, okay? And we know the Leo is fire energy, also sun energy, but things have fizzled out. It's taken its course. And it's time for something new. And it's good that you are acknowledging that because, like I just stated, people will cling on to you, knowing darn well there's nothing there. But someone has to be the brave heart and say, you know what, there's nothing here. And I would like to open the opportunity for someone new to enter my life. And so, in order for me to do that, I must, release you. I must surrender you. This is over with. There's no need to fight with yourself. This is representing mentally, going back and forth in your head. Should I go? Should I stay? But I see you putting your foot down, and I see you being brave, having this conversation. And I do see someone letting them, I guess you having your housing situation, letting them have the apartment or the house, and you're walking away and finding your own place on your own. Okay. And I'm picking up that you're doing that so that they won't have the excuse of, oh, where will I go? I need 30 more days. I need another month. Give me time to save my money. Give me. And so that is wise of you, whomever you are. That's for somebody. That's not for everybody. But you're agreeing to let them have the apartment or whatever. And you're choosing to move forward and find your own place to live on your own or whatever your situation is. And Spirit is saying that is wise of you because this is somebody who would make excuses to cling on to this situation. And they even know, Spirit is saying they know why you are standing your ground. They know that, the flame has fizzled out. They know that there is, the love is gone. You may have care about this person, but far as being in love with them and seeing them as the one that has fizzled out. And it's not because, like I said, I'm being told to keep saying this. It's not because they're a terrible person. And it doesn't mean that you're a terrible person. You're just at a place in your life where you know what you want. And you know what you want to the point you're for sure guaranteed. You know what you want, but you also know what you want your life to look like. And so the next partner that you do engage with, male or female, will be someone for the long haul if you choose to do so, because everyone does not believe in marriage, and that is okay. All are welcome on this channel. All are welcome on this channel. Everyone has different belief systems. So your next partner, this is someone who will fit in for the long haul. If you choose to partake in another situation where you're a couple or you're living with someone, this will be someone who will go with you for the long haul, be with you through your retirement and things like that. And being able to help you expand in your career. Because I'm also picking up that you also feel that you have been hindered in your career personally due to you've chosen to neglect your own personal desires to fulfill your partner's needs and wants. So as I said earlier, someone in this connection makes more money than the other, and maybe you're footing financially most of the household, most of things that are needed or required. And you're just worn down, and it's time for something else. Okay. All right, so no more. We were just speaking about pentacles of you holding on, holding on and trying to do it all by yourself and being a care bear and putting yourself last. You'll be able to do the budgeting, as I said earlier, possibly before you met this person, you were able to save your money. You were able to see yourself grow. You had a nest egg in the bank. You had things put away for a rainy day. But since you've been with this person, I'm picking up that those things have been depleted, emptied. You've had to tap into areas of your savings that maybe you didn't want to tap into, so this relationship has drained you in many ways. Okay. And so we have foresight here. Okay. The 3 of Wands, travel, moving abroad, foreign country, a visionary. Okay. Forward planning, self-confidence. So you'll be regaining your confidence. And as I said, you will be moving into your own home. So that is wise of you to give this person this apartment or this lease agreement or whatever. You're going to let them finish living out the lease and let them pay the rent and figure it out on their own while you go and get your own place. So congratulations, bachelor or bachelorette. Congratulations to you for standing up for yourself and practicing self preservation, because many people, as I just stated, choose to stay and continue to sacrifice their entire life to be in unhealthy connections that they know are not good for them. You know, being with people whom they know that are just sabotaging them, belittling them, ruining their household, you know. Just there's situations where there's just no growth, you know, constantly feeling defeated, you know, as if you have to watch your back because the person in your household, you know, you're holding everything up. You are the table. It's not what you bring to the table, collective. You are the table. So if you are the table, that means someone that's getting with you, they better be a table. Okay, they better come with theirs. If you can hold your own, they should be able to hold theirs. And I'm a firm believer, and I mean this when I say this, and I make no apologies about it. It doesn't make sense for you to be single, whether you are a parent or not. It doesn't make any sense to be single, have things in your household ran a certain particular way, collective. And the first moment you choose to get into a relationship or move someone in your home, things start to decrease, deplete. And I'm talking about everything from finances to tissue to toothpaste to food to the gas in the tank to happiness. What else? Lotion, shea butter. What else get used up? I said the toothpaste. Things should not decrease. Things should not become seldom, rare, or depleted in your household, as well as the energy. If you're adding someone to your household, there should be an increase. There should be a surplus, unless someone is pump faking or hiding something or just don't have pure intentions. There is no reason why someone should be wanting to claim they are in a relationship. I'm speaking of relationships. I'm not talking about people helping someone who's in a situation and maybe need a place to stay. I'm not speaking on that. But when you are choosing to be in an adult relationship, you should not be combining your energy with anyone else's if you have nothing to offer, male or female. No one should go into anyone's household or relationship and cause depletion. No one should go into anyone's household or relationship and things starts to be stagnant or less than. That is a spiritual nudge, collective. That is a spiritual nudge. If you've taken someone in and you're in a relationship and things get rougher and tougher, but before they were there was extra. But once they move in, there's none. Or it's hard to get, it's hard to come by. But before they moved in, there was an extra bowl of cereal. There were extra rolls of toilet tissue and toothpaste. You know, the gas tank stayed on half. Maybe you had an extra 500 to 1,000 put to the side. These are just examples. Maybe the energy in your home was more upbeat and pleasant. Maybe you woke up smiling. Maybe you could laugh at a funny joke, but all of a sudden when you decide to connect to this person and bring them into your life, your relationship, or your household, they change. Like things go from this to this. That's a problem. That's a major problem. And then the massive problem is once you recognize it, you choose to stay there because it's not going to get better because the divine, your ancestors, the universe, God, Yahweh, all are welcome on this channel. You're receiving a spiritual nudge that this person is not for you. Doesn't mean that they're a terrible person, but they're not for you. They're not on your frequency. They cannot give you reciprocity. There's no equal give and take. It's going to be like this. It'll never, it's going to keep being like this. And the longer you stay, it'll widen more and more and more and more and more until you have nothing left. There should never, ever, you should never be adding on anyone that is a liability. They have to be an asset in some kind of way. We have the Eight of Wands here. Sagittarius, whom I refer to as the outdoorsman. Haste, speed, progress, movement, action. So I'm picking up, you'll be moving fast to move away from the situation. You're ready for your freedom. You're ready to return to your happiness, your growth. You know, like I said, you were able to save, stack your money. You were able to do more, but you tried to give this a try and it didn't work, and that's okay. But just don't drag this person along. Let them know you're no longer interested. It's going to end and you plan on leaving, and do so immediately afterward. Do not send mixed signals. And once you separate, let it be. Do not allow this person to inbox you, text you, email you, pull up, all that. When you break up, you have to break up and have it final, clean, cut, dry, and leave those doors closed. This is a karmic situation, collective, for you to experience. It was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. It is not a mistake, for you to learn from it and move forward. Not break up with this person and then come back. They have growing to do. You have growing to do. Hopefully you've learned a lesson, but you show that by being honest, putting in a plan, taking action, and leaving those ties severed. Making it clear that you have learned the lesson and you are ready for new energy to enter your life. Whether you choose to date, and just be single, that's okay. To each his own. We all have free will. You can live the life that you choose. But I just have to say, it makes no sense. I mean, to add anyone to your life, I'm just saying, to your life or your household, and things get even tighter, worse. What do they say? I can do bad by myself. It makes no sense. There's not a euphoric or a climax feeling that should make you want to stay in a situation like that. Yes, I just said that. Because it'll leave you like this. If not financially, spiritually, or emotionally, or physically, it'll leave you like this. Depleted, left out in the cold, giving away all your time, your power, your energy, your mind, breaking you down, breaking your self-esteem. Why sacrifice yourself or your happiness or your peace? Poverty's at the top of that card. People have their moments in life. No one's life is perfect, where we all go through ups and downs and turnarounds. But why allow that? Collective, you are worthy. You are worthy. You're extremely worthy of being loved and respected and receiving reciprocity. You do not have to do it all. You do not have to be the breadwinner and give all the bread away. You can be the breadwinner and store some bread. Put it in the freezer, preferably. Keep it fresh. And the next connection you get in is for somebody, not everybody. Whatever you have as far as assets, keep that personal into yourself. That's for somebody. The next connection you get in, even if it's just a dating situation, your finances is no one's business. It's okay for you to provide, pay for dinner if you choose, whatever, buy gifts, but it's nobody's business what your income is, what you got saved. All that is nobody's business. That is nobody's business. That's for somebody who needs to hear it. So Spirit is clearly saying it's time for you to just focus on you. When you leave this connection, make sure you allow yourself to heal from this so you don't take any of the old stagnant energy into a new relationship. And it's time for you to focus on you. Sit on your throne, do the healing work. Release the energy of feeling defeated by this person. Regain your enthusiasm. Releasing that impoverished energy that this person may have inflicted on you. And it is possible for you to regain with what you feel you have lost. What you feel you have lost, because nothing has been lost. This is just an experience for you to learn from, Spirit is saying. And now your vision is clear. And now you have foresight of where you're going, what you want, what kind of person you want to date, what you want your future to look like, and therefore how to stay present and work on things that will benefit and reap a harvest as you move forward. But be mindful of adding people to your life, especially your household, that are liabilities. Later.